Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts A9. Well, Dan Morell, I think, Marrell? I can't pronounce his name. I've been watching this guy on YouTube for like 5 years. I just realized I can't pronounce his name. Um, Now, he did a video recently that was a little disturbing. It wasn't the whole video, it was just something he mentioned at the start of one of his. He does these weekly box office analysis videos and reviews and stuff like that. And I don't totally agree with his reviews all the time, but I sort of respect him for the most part, and I like how much effort he puts into the actual analysis of the box office, like for the week and everything, and he does a really good job. Now, he apparently was invited to talk at some event where it was like a movie event or a YouTube event or something, or something maybe about small businesses or YouTube businesses. I don't know what it was, but he was invited to this and was waiting, to hear back and everything and get confirmations and stuff like that. And time passed, and he found out that he had been rejected, and he found out other people had been rejected too, and it was for the same thing. Apparently, the government was involved, and they were basically reviewing the people's um, social media imprint or whatever. And because he had done a video talking about the tariffs, and he wasn't even criticizing the tariffs, he was just talking about, well, this is what's happening. He didn't really take a side. He certainly didn't attack Trump. He was very neutral, and he even tried to find the positives of maybe long term this would be good for the industry by, having more productions made in America. But in the short term, it's going to, probably going to cause problems, which is what everyone was saying. Or at least we don't really know what's going to happen because it's unclear exactly what they're doing. So he was just giving a very matter of fact, this is what's happening, video about the tariffs and that when it first came out about the tariffs on Hollywood. And apparently, because he made that video against Trump, apparently, and talking about something the government doesn't want people talking about, he was excluded from this event. And so were other people for the same reason. That is terrifying. The idea that the government is coming and saying, well, you can't appear in public at this event, which is a paid event, which is work for you, because you're not saying what we want you to say about our government practices and policy. That is really, really terrifying when you think about it. Now, why the government was involved, I'm assuming they were offering to, sponsor part of this event. So then in order to do that, they were saying, but we have to prove who's going to appear. I guess it was something like that. Probably on behalf of small business holders or YouTubers or some entrepreneurial thing, or maybe it was some sort of Comic Con and he was just going there to talk about films. I don't know, or I don't know what the other people were there for either, because he was kind of vague about it. But that was what happened. That was in the end what happened was he was waiting to find out the details, and he was told, no, thank you, you're not welcome, because we looked at your social media trail, and we saw that you actually did a video talking about the tariffs, and you can't talk about things that we don't want you to talk about. So you're done. I think that's terrifying, and I had to comment on that. He should have made a whole video about it, I think. He just mentioned that at the start of one of his videos about the box office for the week. Or maybe it was about, I think it was the regular sort of box office for the week. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I find the whole thing terrifying in general. Like, people are afraid to travel to America now. Like, we've had Australian people be held and have problems with ICE and customs for the most ridiculous reasons. Like, I know I couldn't go to America if I wanted to, and I'd like to go to America to see certain things and certain places I've always wanted to see, but I know I wouldn't get in now because of the videos I've made. They'd take one look at my social media, they'd see that I don't support Trump, and I wouldn't be allowed in the country. Or I'd be held in the country in jail once I got there, which has happened to people. Seriously, it's happened to people. It's not a paranoid, fear-mongering scheme or something, or it's like we're having reports from people getting out of America that they've had these sort of problems going in and being harassed and victimized basically for not supporting Trump and not being MAGA. And the fact that people are being paid to do this, that they're doing this and they feel they have the right to do it and they're not afraid, they're being emboldened, it's just really disturbing. And this is another sign of that, what happened to Dan. So yeah, it's been 6 months or so since Trump was sort of in. I know technically it was a different date he actually started, but It's another 3.5 or so years of this. We got through the first term. We'll get through the second term. I don't think he's going to be able to totally destroy the country and dismantle democracy, but he's going to make a mess out of it. He will be gone at the end of this, I believe. I don't think he's going to be able to actually turn America into an actual fascist regime where he just gets to stay and not leave and they don't vote for the next election. I don't think that's going to happen. It's what he'd like to happen. I'm sure he'll try, but I don't think it will happen. And I think he will be out, and then eventually America will be able to rebuild its brand, so to speak. But in the meantime, the next few years are going to be full of things like this, and the reality that people like me, not that I'll be travelling anytime soon, but in a couple of years I wouldn't have minded doing it. There's no way that can happen during Trump's reign. But I'm going to go.